Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a huge thank you to Alseki for the virtual gift voucher. Huge thank you my friend for the support, it is truly appreciated. Thank you. But on to today. Today we discuss the Dark Angels Legion and their Primarch, Lion El'Jonson, as we take a look at their role as the Emperor's Exterminator. Spoiler warning to begin, the events we are discussing today are from the Horus Heresy Primarch series novel Lion El'Jonson, Lord of the First, by David Geimer. As always, I really recommend you read the stories for yourself first, as that's the best way to enjoy the lore for yourself. Not only that, we help to support the great Games Workshop and Black Library, because without them we don't have this amazing lore to talk about. I will put a link in the description as always. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, so when the Lion's Primarch novel was released all those many moons ago, it wasn't long before spoilers began reaching my ears. Rho, what do you think? People cried about the Dark Angels being the Emperor's real executioners. And as always, my answer was to wait and read the story for myself. And I have to say, first of all, I'm really glad I did, and I'll definitely do a review of it this week. But secondly, and most importantly, it really took me back to one of the reasons I started this channel in the first place, in highlighting how different people interpret the lore differently, and how that's perfectly okay. It's what makes talking the world of lore so much fun. Now, the particular passage in question follows the Dark Angel known as Aravane, as he follows a brother of the Dreadwing into the depths of their ship, bearing witness to their most ancient and secret of weapons. And the important thing to know is that it is told from his perspective. The Dark Angels Legion, as we know, are separated into orders, and the Dreadwing are the order specializing in complete and utter destruction. When the Lion orders them into action, it's to eliminate everything of the enemy. They have no other objective. And as the Dark Angels have always received supply from Terra, being the First Legion, the Lion made the choice not to receive arms from the newly acquired Forge Worlds as the Great Crusade continued to expand. And this keeps the First Legion in the most unique position of having all their weaponry supplied from the Throne World itself. The downside of this is, as a result, their lines of resupply can be far longer than their fellow legions. But as Aravane follows Redloss deeper into the depths, his nervous excitement rises. Kicking through the clinging vapours, Redloss entered. Barely able to master the nervous energy he felt at standing before that forbidden threshold, Aravane followed. On a ship better known for its unasked questions, the Dreadwing was renowned as a repository for the deadliest arcana to have survived Old Earth's age of strife unused. Within its multiply secured and Idenk-locked vaults could be found man-portable atomics, gene-targeted bioweaponry, unstable plasma devices, psionic phages, weapons that were so powerful, so cataclysmic in their intent, that the Emperor had deemed them too dangerous for the bulk of his forces to be allowed even to know of their existence. To his First Legion alone had he entrusted the secrets of such relic weaponry. With the arsenal that he had entrusted to their keeping, the Dark Angels had at their disposal the firepower to usher in a new old night, should they, or he, so desire it. Now, the decision to focus on the Dark Angels and the Lion's role as the first, as the Horus Heresy series has developed, is definitely something I'm on board with. Because obviously, as with all things, someone has to come first. and it makes perfect sense for the First Legion to be given these weapons of a lost age, because again they were first. The embarkation of the Great Crusade was terror taking on the galaxy. Of course you take the most powerful weapons you can muster, but the reason for the First Legion alone keeping them, in my opinion, has much more to do with the Emperor's trust in its Primarch, the Lion. While no doubt the Emperor most likely never doubted any of his sons, or even contemplated their treachery, there always seems to have been a select few that have had his favour. And this may well not have been intended at all, at least in the real world, and simply a coincidence of different authors writing on certain Primarchs. But still, the fact remains, we have been given certain scenes or references which favour particular Primarchs. Horus, of course, despite the ultimate betrayal, can never not be considered favoured by the Emperor. Rogel Dawn, chosen as the Praetorian of Terror and trusted with the secrets beneath, is undoubtedly another. Leman Russ, the Emperor's executioner, whose loyalty was never doubted by his father, and who believed whoever Russ went after wholeheartedly deserved the edge of his axe. Such was the trust in his Wolf King. Then we had others such as Vulcan, who alone shared the Emperor's true gift of humanity. Then we have Korax, who the Emperor trusted with the secrets of his Primarch project. And lastly the Lion, who when his loyalty was doubted by Malcador, the Emperor was genuinely surprised, for to doubt the Lion's loyalty to him was absolutely unheard of. Now yes, there are others, but I'm going by what we've actually seen in the Heresy series. There's no denying we need many more Great Crusade era moments. Some Primarchs have been particularly lacking when it comes to screen time with their father. But back to the topic at hand, the Lion is trusted by the Emperor. Indeed, there's a couple of very small conversations between the two in this book, which we'll absolutely discuss separately, but the overriding theme is the Lion is trusted to do his duty, with no need for praise, like some of his brothers. So the First Legion, having these powerful weapons from a bygone age, makes sense in all respects. And just from an outside lore point of view, it's a development the Dark Angels Legion needed, to add some character and flavour to them. Outside the Fallen of the future, they needed something else to characterise the Legion, allowing the Legion to be defined by its greatness, rather than its future of shame. Is it all perfect? No, but we'll discuss that in the review later in the week. But Aravain's story continues. Who else but the First could have been entrusted with such a responsibility? Who else but the First could be relied upon to inflict the most final of sanctions, if so commanded? The Wolf King boasted to all that he was his father's executioner. He was a deterrent, a hound to snarl behind a sealed gate, never to be unleashed. What the Lion was to his father did not speak its name so brazenly, for where Russ was a warning, the Lion was a solution, the final solution. He was the Emperor's exterminator. What the honour of Russ would not abide, he would sanction without hesitation. The enemy who might yet be integrated, the adversary whose misguided but noble resistance might be canonised into posterity, these were wars for his brothers to wage. When the First Legion turned their guns upon a foe, it was to annihilate without trace, to obliterate beyond all hope of record. This was the purpose for which the Dark Angels were created, and it was the reason that he made them first. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. First off, now this is why I'm really glad I read the book for myself, because if I had have just listened to the spoilers, I would have had a very different opinion. First off, this passage is entirely written from the Dark Angel Aravane's point of view. Who else but the First? A legionary taking pride in his legion. I mean, what else would you expect from a legionary? The Wolf King boasted to all that he was his father's executioner. He was a deterrent, a hound to snarl from behind a sealed gate, never to be unleashed. The key is in the wording here, which makes it very simple to tell. The Wolf King boasted to all, the perception the angels have of the wolves. Further reinforced, a hound to snarl behind a sealed gate, never to be unleashed. I like the symbolism. The problem is, we know the wolves were unleashed. Firstly against the lost two Primarchs, and then they would be again, at the outbreak of the heresy, against Magnus and his 1,000 sons. Where Russ was a warning, the lion was a solution. The final solution. What the honour of Russ would not abide, he would sanction without hesitation. There's nothing wrong with the first half of this statement at all. Russ is a warning, and the lion is a solution. Two very different characters for two very different roles. The lion will take the grim tasks and prosecute it without any need for praise, because loyalty is its own reward, as we have seen before. The role of the lion has actually got nothing to do with the wolves at all. It's merely used as a comparison and a reason to raise up the lion. And that's the whole crux for this entire passage, establishing the grim exterminator role for the lion. The following line again, what the honour of Russ would not abide, again reeks to me of Legion pride. We have seen firsthand the devastation Russ will inflict when ordered to do so, with the complete devastation of Prospero, the annihilation of Magnus and his legion. But quite simply, Russ will only do this when needed. The lion prosecutes this type of warfare on a much more regular basis. That is why Russ is the executioner and the lion the exterminator. The lion would sanction anything, absolutely. This is the guy who was planning on invading Macragge at the drop of a hat. It's what makes him one of my favourite Primarchs. Again, it's very clear here, it's about establishing him and his legion's role. It's the same as the Master of Mankind novel, portraying a very cold, dismissive emperor when talking of his Primarchs. Until you understand, the book is being told from the Custodes' point of view. And the same here with the Dark Angels, telling their story. So again, it's a beautiful example of how we all interpret what we read differently. None of our interpretations are wrong, it's just your and our views. And it really does reinforce how you should hold out a real opinion until you've read it for yourself. Because like I said, I went in expecting one thing, only to see something else entirely. The Lord of the First novel does exactly what you'd want from every Primarch novel, in the sense that it builds up and develops that particular Primarch. And like I said, I'll do a review on it maybe tomorrow, to really give my thoughts as a whole. But it goes without saying, the characterization of the lion here is on point. And he feels exactly like the lion should. Not as the Emperor's executioner, but in the role that he is designed for, the Emperor's exterminator. But as always guys, what do you think? Do you see the lion and the Dark Angel's role as the Emperor's exterminator, being a replacement of the wolves and Russ as the Emperor's executioner? Personally, I, having read it like I said, see it nothing more than a Dark Angel taking pride in his legion and using a particular rivalry to further establish the Lion in his own mind. And how do you feel of their role as a whole? Do you feel the Dark Angels are the best suited legion to this exterminating casting? Or do you feel there's another legion better suited? Maybe the World Eaters, or even the Blood Angels or Death Guard? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.